Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. So today I'm just showcasing my custom Fantastic Four characters. I made these before I started the channel, so I didn't really have clips of it. So yeah, I'll go over some of the parts that I used and the other extra details that I did for these characters. Alright, we'll start with Mr. Fantastic. For this figure, I can't really remember what body I used, but it's one of the same bucks as the Riddler based on this work in progress pick that I have. For the one arm I did use the Plastic Man, and then for the sleeves part of the gloves I did use the ones from Riddler. I modified the hands as well, just a bit to add the gloves, and then I chopped off the Plastic Man hands, and then I added some magnets. Kinda neat, I'd say. The brief piece I switched up from the Captain Atom in the pick. I really can't remember since I modified it too. The blue paint, I did use Golden So Flat Cerulean Blue, and I did some shading as well. The head sculpt is a Joel from Last of Us by JSerion3D on Instagram. Alright, up next is the Human Torch. This one was pretty straightforward. I used the Black Lightning figure for most of it, and then the rival briefs and hands. The head sculpt and the flame parts were made by Hayden3D on Instagram. I then printed them using Resin WW123 Flaming Orange. It's like a transparent resin. And then I just manually painted the flesh parts to show him kind of like mid-transformation. I added some flame highlights to it so it's not too plain looking. So I just dry brushed it with some yellow. Alright, so up next is the Invisible Woman. So for Sue, I did use the Anne Hathaway Catwoman body. What's nice with this one is that the arm gloves and the thigh-high boots come off, so it was so much easier to paint. So the head sculpt was a repurposed Zatanna statue head, and the hands are from a Storm statue. When I was printing the hands, I think I printed it a little too big, but that's okay for now. I printed it using Resin G217, which is their clear resin. Now we have the Thing. This is probably one of the trickier ones to make in this group, and I think mostly it's because I'm not that great of a sculptor. I used the Devastator figure, then I sculpted the rock textures as much as I can, and then for that I did use Milliput. The trick is to add quite a bit of brown wash and even black wash just to dirty it up a little bit more, and I think it worked pretty well. The head sculpt was repurposed from a bust that I bought from Cults 3D. Alright, so up next is a Silver Surfer. I used the Riddler torso, arms, and legs for this one, the Deadman belly, Booster gold briefs, and the Plastic Man shin. And I believe it's the only shin part that does not have the boots. I'm not sure though if they made other ones since I made it, but when I made it, it's the only one that has a clean kind of leg look to it. The board diorama was from Cults 3D. I painted the figure using Vallejo Metal Color Chrome, and it's probably one of my favorite metallic airbrush brands out there. The head sculpt is by Hayden 3D from Instagram. Next is Doctor Doom. So for this one I used the power ring body, but I do think that the base body does not matter since it's all covered up with armor. The armor pieces were 3D printed using Resu1 F69, and the file is by Hayden 3D on Instagram. The soft goods were from eBay, and I think I paid around $30 for it, and it was meant for Marvel Legends, but surprisingly it did fit McFarlane's scale. And the head sculpt is from Cults 3D. Alright, last one is probably my favorite from this group, which is Galactus. This one was a lot of fun to make. Base body is McFarlane Mongol, because he's one of the tallest McFarlane figures that I have. I was able to modify it and make it much taller using the 3D printed parts that I have here. I did commission Hayden 3D to make me a Galactus kit, and he did such an amazing job with it. As you can see, lots of details, and it took me a while to get it all done, but we finally did it. Armor parts were printed with Resu1 F69, and the head sculpts were printed with SP64. As you can see, I had to modify the neck just because the Mongol has one of those one-piece headed neck, so I kind of had to improvise to make it work. Here's the finished design by Hayden 3D. As you can see, I had to change up the color scheme a bit just because I painted the inner parts blue instead of black, and I thought that's quite a lot of blue if I did that. But yeah, anyways, as you can see, here's some work in progress pics as well, and yeah, the boots really did add quite a bit of height to it. Alright, that's all my Fantastic Four characters. Hope you liked it. Thanks again for watching, and see you on the next one. Bye.